Hello everyone and welcome back to another Misfits Racing League broadcast. It is going to be the Tier 2 drivers, of course, heading into the final round of MRL action. It is Suzuka, and we are just under 4 minutes away from all of the action. We're going to take you through how things have come all this way. Taking a look at, of course, the circuit. There it is, the wonderful Suzuka circuit, the Figure 8 circuit on the Formula 1 calendar. What a beautiful circuit it is, and it has been host to many upsets and triumphs over the years. And that is going to be the final circuit here for this season, and I couldn't be happier about it. There it is once again on the diagram. You can see there how it looks. Of course, thank you to Formula1.com for having that on their site. We just borrowed that real fast. Joining me, as always, today for Tier 2 is Mr. Henry. How are you doing today, Henry?
I'm okay, Striff. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm super excited for this one, Henry. I can't believe we're finally at the end of this Season 2 action. We're here in Japan for round 17, and we saw our Tier 2 drivers kick things off in Silverstone earlier this season. And now we've seen them through Belgium, Hungary, Bahrain, Baku, Australia, and last week, of course, in Mexico. And I'm just, it all comes down to this. You know, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Let's take a look at the teams for today. Extreme 1409 over at Ferrari with Jack S lining up with him on the grid for that Scuderia squad. Jeb and Max Inkster, full-time drivers for Haas. Sensorless and Nigel over at Renault with Liam and Honning over at Mercedes. Robbo and Maxim out Alpha. It's a Max and Juicebox for Red Bull. Tammy Halla and Kai Bacchini for Williams. And it's Jay currently leading the championship over at McLaren with Young IP, his teammate today. JM2 and Gowden over at Toro Rosso, and Urge Pavia and CJ Virtual for Racing Point. Now with that, of course, the standings. Oh, what would we do without the standings? That is what makes this so exciting today, Henry. You can see here we have an extraordinary battle for first position. There is a title fight going down to the wire today. Jay currently out in front by 4 points. Liam behind him in second, and Maxim there in third. Maxim fighting for his life for that final podium position versus Nigel today. Kai Bacchini, don't count him out. He is also in the mix, and we have a lot of intense standings battling going on today in Tier 1. I am super excited for this. Of course, what would this championship be without the constructors' standings, Henry? They are quite tight as well. Mercedes currently leading the championship with 158 points. McLaren right there behind them with 133. 102 for Haas, and Alpha right behind them with 86. Renault in 5th with 79, and you can just see the numbers are tight all the way through down until you get to Red Bull, who are unfortunately in 10th. Very good stuff, Henry. We have a crazy battle. We have a crazy amount of battling going to be happening on circuit today. Of course, we saw in the chat, Mr. Icy knows all about it. Senna versus Prost, probably the most iconic of Suzuka moments. Back-to-back seasons and fights for the championship where they took one another out. And, well, it's Suzuka. You never know what to expect, Henry. There's the possibility of rain in Japan. Who knows what we're going to get. But of course, before we jump into the race really quick, one last thing I would like to mention to all of you tuning in right now. Don't forget, next week, next Saturday, June 27th, it is the Misfits Racing League versus the Delta Motor Racing League. And we're going to be giving away a copy of Formula 1 2020 Michael Schumacher Edition on stream. So don't miss it. 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time and 8 o'clock British Summer Time for those of you over in Europe. And with that, we're going to jump back into the race, Henry.
Drivers are just finalising, they're ready up. Should be getting things just going in a minute.
Oh, this is going to be a really fun race, Henry. I'm super excited with all of this track action going on here. For those of you in the chat One quick thing before we jump into this race. It's a new microphone. Let me know how things are sounding. Hopefully things are sounding a little bit better and a little bit more professional. And we can get into a nice race commentary. Here at Suzuka, we are jumping in, Henry. Oh, I am so excited for this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so excited for this.
I think everyone is. It's been a long season, but thanks to everyone who supported us in all the social medias.
Oh yeah, really huge shout out to all of you guys, the viewers who have been supporting us through this journey. 17 races. We started mid-February, and here we are, mid of June. And we have a clear sky here in Quali, Henry.
I actually hope it's dry in the race, to be honest.
Yeah? Oh. But the drama, it would just be so... No, but like, it's such a big title fight, you know? I think that there'd be some drama involved. And we're being told in the chat from Mr. Gameboy Siraj that it is dry. So, we have Jeb coming in here. Hopefully, I don't know if he'll be able to set a quali lap or not, but hopefully we'll see him in the race, and it'll be 18 drivers. So both Haas drivers are present. Good to see Jeb getting into his car. Maxim, Jay, Liam, the top three in the standings right now. Those are going to be the three drivers to watch out for, as well as Nigel and Kai Bacchini in a tight battle for championship positions here. All the cars leaving the pit lane now. That's going to be Juicebox first out of the pits here. You can take a look at the circuit here in Japan. This is, of course, the wonderful S's section. Very important to keep as much traction as you can through here. What's your favorite thing about this circuit, Henry? What do you, if you had a favorite part of Suzuka, what would it be?
Not really sure, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of the Japan GP, to be honest, myself, but I'm sure it'd be great to drive on for these tier 2 drivers. And of course tier 1 drivers after.
I have to say, for me, it's when, and this doesn't happen always, but when you're coming up over this bridge that you see Juicebox coming over now, and you hear the cars below, that's it for me. We just heard it there. That's my favorite part about this circuit. Driving it can be a huge pain in the ass for me. I'm not a fan of the S's section, of course. Now here we have Juicebox beginning his flying lap, first driver of the session to do so. DRS wide open on the rear wing. Let's see how he goes down through on this first lap. 15 minutes left in the session. Ooh, and he goes a little wide there on the grass. It looks like he's going to abort and let some drivers by here. That's Liam ahead of him. Extreme, I believe, as well. Or excuse me, that's Wisp. Leading them through now. I do believe he'll be the next driver to set a lap. Going a little bit off there, coming out that left-hander through the S's section.
I've seen some good things about Beeve in the McLaren. As a reserve driver today.
Yeah.
Englishman.
Well, then he's in the right car, isn't he? Wisp now in the Ferrari coming down through into Spoon. Freaking just after that 50-meter board. Hugging that inside curb as best you can without touching it. Crucial if you touch that and in your car. Coming up through into the 130R. Iconic section of circuit here.
I would say that was my favorite part.
130R, yeah, that's a fantastic turn. Last time we saw a Ferrari take 130R, it was Charles Leclerc holding on to his rearview mirror as Wisp crosses the line with a 131.071, and then it's a Max in the Red Bull at 131 flat behind him.
Nigel.
And Nigel saying, wake up, guys. That's not the pace. We're going 128.6 in here, and blistering lap from him here on Suzuka. Maxim on the medium compound tires. Top 3 driver at the moment. He's making his way up through into 130R now out of Spoon Curve. See what kind of lap time he's able to set on those mediums for his first lap of the session.
Cabacini sets a new fast lap, 128.2. So Maxime across the line with a 130.7.
Cabacini currently on pole now. Very, very quick in the Williams, as we've seen all season long. Cabacini. Icy's now coming across. 129.5, setting himself up into third for the Racing Point squad. Very nice. Cream in the Ferrari now. Medium compound tires making his way out of Spoon up into the last few turns of the lap. You see that massive bump in the tarmac there here in Suzuka as you round that final turn. Fortunately, in F1 2020, that will no longer be an issue.
They finally listened.
Tammy Halla
Good job,
now
Cody's.
coming down through the last chicane. About to finish her lap for Williams. P13 with a 146.668 first lap of the session. Bravo for Alpha, rounding his way through the final chicane. He is jumping into the box. Liam, I do believe, is on a in-lap. Ooh, and that's Juicebox coming out of Spoon. With a bit of a spin there. Looks like he lost the rear and just slid in.
Very easy to lose it through there.
What luck was that? You know, I switched to the Red Bull, Henry, and next thing you know, he's flying through Spoon. The curse, ladies and gentlemen, the curse. The commentator's curse is what it's called. Sorry, Juicebox. I'm sure I'll hear about it later. Beavis. Or is it Beavix? I don't know how to say it. Beav. I'm gonna call him
B.
B. Just call him B. All right, B.
Yeah, B.
On an out lap, he's choosing to jump onto those mid-compound tires, making his way up through that left-hander out of the S's. Now, that section of circuit is one that we're going to want to watch throughout this race, as that section can be very difficult to find traction through coming out of those S's, because you're trying to power up that hill. You're looking for traction, and well, that turn has caused me many issues, I'll just say, and I've seen it.
Oh!
What do we got going on there? Ooh, and it looks like we have an issue at turn 1.
Ooh.
Tammy Halla is off, and who is that with her? Looks like Icy.
It was Icy, yeah.
So there's an issue with Icy and Tammy here in the first turn.
Didn't think Icy saw Tammy coming down. Into turn one, sorry.
That is unfortunate. You can see there on the front end of that Williams missing quite a good portion of that front right end plate and wing. Take a look at Icy's car now to try and figure out what happened there. He's missing a massive amount of front wing on that Racing Point. And
that is red.
I have to say, very fortunate for both of them, though, as neither was disqualified as a result, and I imagine that would be very good for Icy, considering he's P4 at the moment. Very careful not to interrupt any laps, as we're going to jump on board with B, the number... Well, what number is that? The number 15 McLaren. But currently running in 14th, as he has not yet set a time. He's just crossed through with a purple sector 1. Coming down through the hairpin now. On the medium compound tires. And did we have any word from race control, Henry? About penalties with the incident?
No, nothing about
nothing,
that. No.
Really. Ooh, Icy now. Needing to pull off to the side there for B. Looks like he does so in enough time to prevent any kind of loss of time for the McLaren.
See what time he sets. 129.3.
Very nice.
Not bad on the mediums. Solid lap time.
This could be the monkey wrench we need, Henry, to disrupt this battle at the front of the grid.
Exactly.
Here in this race, causing a little bit of anxiety and stress, perhaps, to those front runners. Liam,
Jay might be feeling the pressure.
Liam currently 4 points behind Jay in the the drivers running for the championship, as we see B unfortunately invalidate on his I believe he was going around again on another flyer. I could be mistaken, as that is the Red Bull of Juicebox making his way by. But Nigel and Kai Bacchini, who are currently 4th and 5th respectively, are currently 1-2 here in Suzuka. And that could be quite the issue for our current third place runner, Mr. Maxim B. Because Kai Bacchini, Nigel, not very far away from the Alpha driver in the standings. I do believe that Liam and Jay are safe in the 1-2 positions. They're just not safe from one another. So it's a very tense battle up there at the top.
Is
but
Max
of course,
going to overline?
It's a Max not improving.
No, Max, sorry.
Jump on with him as he looks to set his first lap here. Coming through this S's section. Very tricky bit of circuit. Very important to get right here. But yes, of course, very tight battle at the top of the standings and all through the rest of the field as well. There's going to be quite a shift, I imagine, at the end of this one. And it looks like there's a retirement. That's Juicebox in a collision with, I do believe, Tammy Halla in the Williams.
Can't see anything on track. I think they just retired in the pits.
No.
Oh, no.
We have a
Right,
huge incident there coming out of the left-hander. And that is very unfortunate for Jay. Or perhaps not, as Jay's currently running in 4th now, Henry. A 128.888 was his time. And thankfully he was on his in-lap when crossing through that unfortunate incident. Max Inkster now finishing his lap, and he's unfortunately invalidated it at the last chicane, so he's going to have to go in and perhaps come out one more time. You can see here he dives into the box. 4 minutes remaining here in the qualification. Tire strategies, Henry. What do you think about Suzuka? Soft medium here?
Yeah, I think it's the optimal strategy. Obviously, you can go soft hard, but obviously, the hard's shocking on this game.
Yeah, the hards are tough. They're
I think
very
the softs
hard.
Can last. The softs can last, obviously, but the tyre temps in the race would be quite difficult to manage.
Liam seems to have run out of fuel after setting that 128.559. Liam and Jay, if I may say so myself, are exactly where we want to see them right now. Right next to one another off the line, as that's usually how these things go when you're at the top of the standings. Icy coming through on another lap here on the softs. And unfortunately he does not improve, or he's beginning a lap. I'm not entirely sure, as he still has that battery turned way up coming down through into turn 1. Max Inkster has once again left the pits and is on another outlap in his quest to set a time here in Japan.
Kai Bacchini and Nigel are very, very close together.
Ooh, Icy has a bit of an issue just before the underpass. And he is now going again in the Racing Point. Very unfortunate. That is most definitely going to set any kind of lap time he was on. Aside Hawning in the Mercedes. Currently in 10th position on a flyer, I do believe. Coming down through the hairpin. Looking to improve. And there you can see Icy pulled off to the inside, just heading into Spoon Curve. We have been told by a couple of the drivers that it is going to be a all dry session for our Tier 2 finale here in the Suzuka. As Hawning now coming up to the final chicane. Jumps into 7th, Henry, a 129.7. 4/10 improvement for the Mercedes.
Solid lap. I don't think Jay can... Jay hasn't got time to go around.
Liam.
Unless it's time glitch.
There has been a running time glitch going, so it is possible that their clock and our clock is a little bit unsynchronized, as Liam is beginning a lap. And Jay, you can see here on an outlap, he has 50 seconds to make it to the line as far as our clock's concerned. I think he may just get there in time, Henry, as he's already made his way through into the hairpin. B in the McLaren, his teammate at the time, reserving today. Currently running behind him in 6th. Gadwin, Henry, has disrupted that side-by-side start of Jay and Liam, as he's now crashed the party into 4th position here.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. Good job. Go to win.
128.874 is the time.
Oh, and it's like Max is going to the wall.
Oh, that is a tough
yes,
crash. Icy himself just crashed as well, coming out of Spoon.
B coming over the line now. See what he can pull off. Oh, he gets P4 with the 128.4. Solid lap.
Kai Bacchini has further increased the bar here, as he has come across with a 127.845. Absolutely blistering time out of the Williams squad. And wow. Kai is going to be happy with that. Nigel on his last lap of the session now, coming down into Spoon.
Maxim all the way down in P13. I just spotted.
Seems to be
Not a good
struggling
session
here
from him.
in Suzuka as Nigel making his way up into the 130R. Purple Sector 2. Oh, and he just clocks a 128 flat. You can see now Jay unfortunately invalidated his final lap here. So we have a very shaken up grid here. Not what I was expecting to see here in Suzuka as far as where our top 3 drivers were going to qualify. Jay has to hunt down some traffic here in order to catch Liam. Liam going to be looking for as many points as humanly possible here in this race, as he's still 4 behind Jay. What a quali session this has been. So that's Kai Bacchini on pole position with Nigel lining up next to him. And we will go down the official running order in just a few moments, as I do believe there may have been penalties handed down to a couple drivers after that incident between Juicebox and Tammy Halla. And clearly I'm mistaken, as Max Inkster, the only driver here in the session not to set a time. Kai Bacchini on pole position with Nigel lining up next to him in second, Liam in third, B in fourth, Gadwin fifth, Jay in sixth, Icy in seventh, Honning in eighth with Juicebox in ninth, and Wisp rounding off the top 10. Squid comes across 11th here. Extreme in 12th, Maxim B not where he wants to be at all in 13th there, although he is on the medium compound tires. It's a Max, if I'm not mistaken, directly behind him. And we have a nice cloudy Japanese Grand Prix to go here. If you're new to the stream, my name is Strifium. Joining me as always is Henry. And I highly encourage you all to smash that follow button. As this is the final race of the season, we have an entirely different story coming to you in F1 2020. Season 3 will kick off very soon after the release of the new game. Drivers now off on the formation lap here in Suzuka, getting their tires up to temperature. It's a Max in 14th position, Robbo in 15th with Tammy Halla in 16th, Max Inkster, who we saw not set a time there in the qualification, in 17th, with Jeb, who has now come into the session here, who unfortunately was dealing with perhaps some mechanical issues over at the Renault garage. Normally he would be in a Haas, so his points in that Renault will, of course, should he get any count towards the Haas Constructors Championship. Sorry to tell you that, Nigel. Predictions, Henry. Predictions, of course. What do you think is going to be the outcome here in Japan?
Probably a solid race from Nigel and Kai. I can't see them being caught up in any way. So I expect a 1-2 from them. And probably Jay on the podium again for P3.
For those of you just joining us, there's currently a battle for the championship here in the final race of the season. It is going to be Liam hunting down Jay for points, and they are starting 3rd and 6th at the moment. Jay leading the championship with 109 points. Liam just behind him with 105. So Liam in a good position to perhaps snatch that championship away from the McLaren.
turn 1 is going to be absolute mayhem.
What a prediction from Henry. Mayhem, he says. What about all of you in the chat? Turn 1. Safety car predictions. Anybody? Feel free to let us know. We want to know what you're saying. Now, we can see an interesting strategy here from this McLaren B as he is under-fueled the car, I believe. We saw a gas light on there. We got Mr. Alex Biddo in the chat calling a safety car lap 1. Luketra's calling it lap 2. Well, we'd hate to see it, of course, but it is the last race of the season. The last time we will see the red lights go on and drop. And it is here in Suzuka. 3, 4, 5 red lights on here in Suzuka. It's lights out. The drivers are still. And they're off.
Great start from Kai.
That's a Toro Rosso off wide there. That's Gadwin. It's a Max struggling through the S's. That's Jeb up into 15th already in the Renault today. Liam has dropped back into 4th. B has gotten the better of him, and we have the fight that we have all been wanting to see here. That is Jay right on his gearbox in that McLaren, not giving him any room to breathe here. We have a yellow flag there in Sector 1. That is Jeb.
Oh, it's Honning
spun
on second Dagner.
Out of the S's, and now Honning has an issue. That is Squid moving on by him. You can see him trying to get back going. And we have tons of action here on the opening lap in Suzuka, but no safety cars yet. Here as these drivers are now making their way through down into Spoon. Jay, our current championship leader, doing what he can to catch up with that Mercedes of Liam. That's an overtake from Robbo on Squid as Squid goes wide at Spoon. Maxim B is catching up with the Toro Rosso of Gadwin. He's looking for the outside line. Gadwin hugging that inside as tight as he can. Kai Bacchini crosses fastest here, 132. 5.86 is the time. Juicebox is into the pits now.
Oh, and he gets 5-second penalty for speeding. And Honning and Squid. Oh, getting the 5-second penalty.
We have a VSC deployed here. I do believe that is Tammy Halla, perhaps, going wide at turn 1, maybe sparking that. I could be mistaken.
Oh, Jay! No! Could that be costly?
Jay slow going here as he's now dropped into 10th position. Liam in 4th. Not sure what happened to the McLaren there, Henry.
I didn't see, I just saw the car in the wall. So it's got to go into the pit for the wing change.
The nerves, Henry, the nerves.
They kick it in.
Back on board with his rival now, Liam. Currently running in 4th. Maxim B is on the hunt as we're back to green flag racing here. Gadwin's had a bit of a spin out of Spoon. Maxim with a ton of speed coming out of that turn. He is wheel to wheel with him coming into 130R, and they go wheel to wheel the whole way. Maxim pushing Gadwin wide. He is now out in front for the time being. DRS has been enabled as Gadwin, very brave to go with Maxim there on that outside. Just the slightest misstep could have cost him that race.
Jay with a 5-second penalty.
Oh, he is not going to be impressed over there at McLaren at all. Liam currently fighting with B, saying, "Who are you? You're in my slot. Get out of my way. The Mercedes is coming for you now." And Icy is into 5th position.
They are good pals, B and Liam.
Jeb has now made his way into 12th position. He has a fully intact front wing. He's on the softs. He's looking good. Hopefully he's able to make some time up as the drivers through 12 down through into 18th have all had to pit here. We can take a look at the stops. Jeb, unfortunately spinning in the S's on the opening lap, put himself behind, but all of those drivers behind him pitting here. Maxim still in 6th. Trying to defend from Gadwin, who is sticking with him. Maxim, though, showing great pace, if I do say so, on those medium compound tires, Henry.
Kai is flying. 2.3 seconds over Nigel.
Kai is looking to throw a
was Liam
big
on the
wrench in the
outside?
standings today.
Good defender from B.
This is a tough place to battle here. He's got to take it easy, if I do say so, as he is currently in a huge fight with Jay. A massive mistake here could make Jay's day. Although this season we have seen Liam very patient. Not too many battles happening on circuit right now. The train has formed behind Maxim, or excuse me, Icy, as Extreme has joined the party on the medium compound tires in the Ferrari as well here in Suzuka. Coming down through Spoon. That is Juicebox, I believe, fighting with Jeb right now. They're wheel-to-wheel into Spoon Curve. Or excuse me, I am way ahead of them. They just came out of the hairpin, so now they're on their way down into Spoon Curve. Juicebox on the inside of Jeb through the exit of Spoon Curve. What a move from him, and that's Jay in there as well. Oh my God, they're 3 wide almost coming out of that turn, Henry. We have an onboard with Jeb here watching Jay get out in front of both of them. That is crazy. He is driving with serious intent here up into 12th position. He needs to get into the points. That's Jeb into the rear of Juicebox. He spun it round into the chicane. Juicebox not going to take any damage or loss there, but that's Jay now. A second and a half ahead of Juicebox already as a result of that. Jeb, unfortunately, into the pits, takes a 5-second penalty for speeding.
Jeb's retired.
And he has retired the car.
I think he's had enough of F1.
Very unfortunate. As we have a massive shuffle of positions here. That's Gadwin who's off. It's a Max into 9th. Maxim and Extreme Henry currently into 5th and 6th respectively on those 4-lap old mediums.
Solid 5 laps from coming out from them. Really, really well done. Made up a lot of places.
Wisp and Extreme now, teammates battling. That's Wisp on the soft compound tires, and that's Icy off on the grass behind them. And that's Extreme going way wide there. Or excuse me, perhaps that was Wisp. I do believe that was Wisp going way wide coming out of 130R. Massive exchange of positions here, as the Racing Point has opted to jump into the pits, and the teammates, the 2 Ferraris, are going to continue to battle one another here. Please no Brazil. Please no Brazil. Of course, the Ferrari fans watching are having flashbacks right now. I certainly am. Jump on with Honning and Juicebox as they're battling. That's Honning just out front of the Red Bull for the time. Juicebox with the DRS breaking off the slipstream down the outside. And it looks like they're going to continue to do battle here on the 4-lap old mediums. Extreme's had a bit of an error here in Spoon. That's Wisp looking to get the position.
Will Extreme give...
Oh, this is crazy. Oh, man. Wisp pushes him a little wide there, almost touching wheels.
Great battling.
Yeah, but they're teammates.
That's what makes it exciting.
No, I like it for sure. Of course, it's great racing, especially when no incidents occur. Looks like Extreme missing an end plate there. On his front left, perhaps.
I think he tapped the rear of Wisp on the pit straight.
Oh, Wisp with just so much speed on those softs right now. Mattia Binotto is face palming at the moment.
Also Kai 4.5 now ahead of Nigel, sitting in P1.
Kai currently 5th position in our MRL Tier 2 Championship. With a win here today, it could solidify a 3rd place finish.
Oh,
at
but
the
he's
end
lost
of the
on
season.
Spoon. Oh, and let Liam just go past him with ease.
Oh, and that's bad news for Jay, as Liam went from 4th to 3rd, and we all know that is a 5-point difference between those two positions here. Three points. Yes, thank you, Alex. I was thinking about that for a second. Actually, no, I may have been right. I think it is 5. Is it not?
Freeway says 4.
Nah, he's...
No, it's 4, apparently.
That's 15 points for P3, and it's 10 for P4, is it not?
Oh.
Well, my math is terrible anyway. Anyway, that's why I'm talking instead of doing numbers. Maxim B, hunting down B now. On those mediums. Squid has retired from the session, and it looks like he did so in the pits. So 2 drivers out of the 18 who began here now out of this race. Icy in 12th position here with a fresh wing, looking to hunt down Jay and Wisp ahead of him. Jay, not where he wants to be on the grid right now. Looking for an overtake. Very daring driving from the McLaren there. On the outside of Spoon, that's the switchback from the Ferrari. Very intense battling here, and Icy wants a piece.
Softs from Jay would absolutely demolish the hards.
And Jay has secured 10th position for the moment, but a huge cut. Huge from that Ferrari.
That must have been close.
5-second penalty awarded to him for that. Jay, I'm sure the hand went up in the cockpit on that one, because that was some scary stuff there. Icy, though, sticking with him. Wisp lost 2.3 seconds as a result of that, plus the 5-second penalty, so I would definitely say it was not worth it. At present running, Liam will come out of this race over Jay in this championship. Jay having to push here.
Jay still has to pit. He's gone 2 sets of softs.
Very true as well. Could be He's running those softs until perhaps a safety car. A safety car would make things quite interesting, of course, at this point in the race. We are 10 laps through here in Suzuka out of the 27 set before us. Kai Bacchini showing fantastic pace in that Williams. 5.5 seconds ahead of the second position driver, and that's Tammy Halla, who has just spun coming out of the S's. As she is now going once again with some fast movers coming behind. That's Hawning, I do believe. Or excuse me, Liam, B, Maxim, all passing the Oft Williams car. Gadwin currently less than a second away from P7 in the Toro Rosso, hunting down the other Red Bull driver. It's a Max. Meanwhile, Icy still in that battle for 10th position here. And it looks like Icy's had a mistake. He's gone off coming out of the S's as Wisp has jumped into 11th position now. Back to Gadwin coming through Spoon. Nigel
Kai Bacchini
and Kai have swapped. Liam staying out. Where is Kai going to come out here? He had a very nice lead, and it looks like he's going to come out in a 5th position here. Maxim on the medium compound tires now, up into 4th position. Gadwin is looking at Max. He had the DRS coming down into turn 1, just not enough to make the move, but I do believe we're going to see it soon. Hawning and Juicebox still battling. Hawning with DRS now coming down the pit straight. He gets out in front of Juicebox with ease.
Hello,
Kai
Mr. Tom
Bacchini
in the chat.
Hey, Tom, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the cast, the Tier 2 finale in Suzuka, and there goes, oh man, the back marker there in the Haas. That's Max Inkster as Maxim and Kai Bacchini are battling now. Kai Bacchini has just come out of the pits on those fresh medium compound tires, coming down into 130R now. Look at the beautiful heli shot. You love to see that. Look at the Williams. Just so much momentum carrying out of that Spoon curve there for Kai Bacchini. Maxim not able to do very much, but he is going to choose to stay out on the 10-lap old mediums.
Liam goes into the pits as well for a set of fresh mids.
Nigel deciding to stay out with B on his rear. 12.1 seconds behind. Tammy Halla unfortunately taking a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. Robbo into the pits now. That puts Jay into 9th position as his quest to move up through the grid continues in order to catch Liam. Liam now in front of him as far as points go, or positions, excuse me. 8th for Liam and 9th for Jay at their current position. That means that Jay would win this championship during their current running position. But as Henry pointed out earlier, Jay needs to pit once again. Liam in 8th position. Not going to stick around there for long as he looks for a move. That's Gadwin into 8th now. Liam getting the move done into Spoon. It looks like Gadwin just dropped back there. Not in a position to fight with a Mercedes on fresh mediums, of course. But that has now unleashed the Mercedes driver onto the Red Bull of It's a Max as B has blinked into the pits, which means Nigel has gone out and around one more time here as he makes his way through the exit of the S's. That is going to be It's a Max into the pits, Liam into 6th position now, and perhaps into 5th as B has just been overtaken in the pits. J moving ahead now into 8th position, but Liam has already jumped ahead into 5th. So at the beginning of this lap, we saw them in 9th and 8th, and now Liam, you can see, getting a lot of pace out of those fresh mediums, as well as the pit stop from B contributing there. Nigel is on a very long stint here with these soft compound tires. He's waiting for a safety car perhaps, Henry, but I don't know if he's going to get one. Things have been quite clean here in this race. Of course, the 2 drivers who did retire did so in the pit lane.
You'll love to see it. Nice clean battling going on the track.
Now let's take a look-see here if Nigel jumps into the pit lane for a fresh set of tires. And he's going around again, and he's going to be losing. Yeah, yes, of course. 100%. Tammy Halla at the back of the grid at the moment, currently in 16th. It's a Williams sandwich from 16th all the way down to 2nd at the moment. Kai is doing very well on his fresh medium compound tires as he crosses the line. A 131.272, the new fastest lap here for round 17. Suzuka action. As we have an overtake, that's B crossing out ahead of Gadwin, as Gadwin has opted to jump in with the Toro Rosso. He's getting onto those medium compound tires, no wing change required. Where's he going to come out as Wisp comes down? It's a Max, previously pitted on the last lap, so is he going to get out in front of Gadwin? It's going to be close, as Gadwin has already made his way out quite a few car lengths ahead. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that, but my eyes deceived me, of course. Robbo in 12th behind Juicebox. Juicebox on 12-lap old mediums at the moment. Is going to be under threat from the Alfa Romeo.
Jay should seriously start thinking about pitting right now. Them 11 lap softs are not doing him any favours.
Nigel and him, the only 2 drivers left here on circuit with the soft compound tires, and Nigel, as I say that, has dove into the pits for a change over. I can only imagine he'll be jumping onto the mediums, and he does.
Sky Machine storms to the lead.
Let's take a look and see what kind of loss he takes on time. You can see Nigel's lost a position to Maxim now, as Maxim is going long on those mediums. Now, if you're Maxim, you're currently 6 seconds ahead of Nigel. I do believe, well, it's ticking down, Henry. When do you pit if you're Maxim? You got 13 laps to go, 12 laps to go if you were to pit this lap.
Pit a lap lap 18, I think. That's best. Lap
we
19,
have a yellow
perhaps.
flag through Sector 1. Not too sure what caused it, as things seem to be cleared up for now. Liam, look at the speed he's carrying on the rear of those 14-lap-old mediums that Extreme has running right now. Look at that. Neither of them using very much battery power at the moment, and you can just see the difference in speed coming out of this Mercedes. Bit of a slip there from the Ferrari. Liam sees it. He knows. He's feeling those tires for sure. Oh, that was very close there. Extreme having to brake a little bit earlier with those worn out tires. Maybe Liam misjudged it. That was very close. Liam doing a great job of getting out of the way there with while keeping the car. So Extreme and Maxim, who both started their race on mediums, are going to have to pit still. Liam with the DRS on the Ferrari. Looks like he's going to get out in front here, maybe in turn 1. Maybe. It's going to be close. No, he's not going for that. No way, Jose, as Extreme has held him off for now. Max has taken a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
I think he's getting a wing change, and yes, he's getting another wing.
Liam very close to the rear of that Ferrari. Is he going to do it here? No way. He is being so
Robbo.
patient.
Down on juice box into turn 1. Can he stick the move? And he does. Very nice. From the Alfa Romeo.
Still wheel to wheel here now. Liam in extreme. Oh, they are close, Henry. That is Liam out in front, though. So much speed coming into that turn here. And he's just going to fly away from that Ferrari now. Look at the gap growing. 0.647. It's just climbing. And it's going to do so as long as Extreme remains on those very old medium compound tires. Maxim here. Staying out. He's 16 laps now on these mediums. And Extreme, out of the two drivers who begun the race on the mediums, is the first to box. With Maxim in that position, Kai Bacchini has been able to grow a massive gap, and meanwhile the gap between him and Nigel has shrunk significantly. Maxim coming up on the rear of Tammy Halla, no ghosting, of course. Tammy Halla pulling off onto the grass there, has another back marker behind her, though. That's Nigel coming through the tunnel. Down into the hairpin. Gadwin, a little shaky through this SS section, looking to catch up with the Ferrari driver ahead of him, as he has now found himself between two Ferraris here in Japan, Henry.
I just realised my mic was muted. Not very professional.
All good.
I just say Kai Bacchini has pulled a massive, massive lead into net P2 Nigel.
Maxim and Nigel are very tight here.
Tammy goes into the pits. And that's Max off.
Ooh, Max Singster, not a very good place to lose it, just in that right-hander, the double right-hander coming into the underpass. I'm sure a couple drivers, as soon as those yellow flags flare up there, Henry, biting their nails, waiting for a safety car, as there's a massive difference in tire strategies on the grid at the moment. So many different laps really across the board. Nigel still hunting Maxim here. The longer Maxim holds up Nigel, the better for Kai Bacchini, although it's Maxim's funeral, as he is more than likely at this point. See Nigel breaking off to the inside there, already ahead of him into the turn. Maxim currently third in the Drivers' Championship. He's under a serious threat in points from Nigel and Kai, and they are currently running 1-2, and Maxim has decided enough is enough. I've held him up long enough. So Nigel into second position, 15 seconds behind Kai Bacchini. If you're Kai Bacchini right now, the last thing you want to see is a safety car. 100%. Exactly. And if you are Maxim, as he's just come out the pits on some softs, you are dreaming about that safety car, as is Jay.
Yeah, Jay needs it more than anyone right now.
And it looks like Extreme has come back into the pit lane for a wing change after only one lap on the soft compound. And he's going to throw on another set and head on out. Now Jay is into 8th position, which at present would give him 4 points. If he maintains 8th position, he would get 4 points, raising his total to 113 driver's points. Liam only needs 4 in order to tie him, and he's currently running in 3rd position, which gives a reward of 15. So Liam looking good. Jay not liking it, I'm sure. He knows what his position is. Wisp on the 11-lap-old hards is going to be under threat in 6th position. It's a Max on the 6-lap-old mediums is going to be under threat very shortly from this McLaren driver. So Henry, Jay just may pull this off if Liam is unable to catch up to that Renault driver of Nigel.
Oh, Kai.
Oh,
no.
and there's
Left
some
session.
kind of disconnect for our leading driver. That's Kai Bacchini. And he's going to slow right down as a result of the AI taking control of his vehicle. So hopefully he's able to get things back together on his end and get back in here, as that gap to Nigel has already started to shrink. Meanwhile, speaking about gaps that are slowly closing, Jay, and there's a big retirement. That's extreme. Heading into the
Did not see
pit
that.
lane, and there's a safety car.
Wow.
Holy!
Oh my god, look at the car. Oh my god, it's on its head.
Lap 20, Tier 2, finale, Suzuka, safety car deployed, lap 21. The pressure is on, and who is going to survive and who's going to pit? This is huge news for Tier 2. Icy
Nigel is
almost
dead.
went into the pits there. You saw him. He's staying out on the 2-lap-old softs. I think we're going to see a 5-lapper finish here.
Oh, and Kai has received the 5 seconds for colliding with Extreme, which I didn't really spot until
Liam,
chat.
where's he going to come
That's
out
all.
in the pit lane here? It looks like he has come out in 4th position. Kai Bacchini has remained out on the 10-lap-old mediums.
Will Jay stay out?
Mm,
He shouldn't do, but maybe he's
I don't know, Henry. It's a tough call to make. And what's it
I'm
going to be?
soft for
He's
6
coming
laps.
around now. He's going to go. It's a Max. He's following It's a Max in. It's a Max took a 5-second penalty. Did Jay? No, he did not. So penalties here, as the safety car is going to bunch all of these drivers up, is going to be massive. Massive. And we could see a massive upset for Liam, as Jay has been thrown a life raft, it would seem, from the
Carpacini's been
stewards.
disqualified.
Kai Bacchini's been disqualified.
Yes.
For what?
Just 1 second. I'll go into the race director.
Why
On
on
my
earth
screen
would,
it said disqualified.
why would he be disqualified?
It said disqualified for ignoring yellow flag on my screen, but on the race director there's nothing. So
Well, he
Not
is
sure what's
coming
going on there.
into the pit lane. It looks like he's getting a set of tires and a wing change. He's serving a penalty. I don't believe he's been disqualified, but we'll
No, I
find out
don't
for
believe
sure in
either.
a moment.
but that's
That would be
yeah, it must be a
extremely
bug.
unfortunate for him. Wow, Kai Bacchini. That is something else for him, as he has appeared to come out ahead of Nigel on the fresh softs, still in lead of this race. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Robbo on 9-lap-old mediums, not pitting under safety car conditions. and that is B, currently behind the safety car in 5th position.
I think there must be a bug.
Oh, Henry. Don't tell me.
I'm getting Liam just been disqualified on my end. Nigel's been disqualified on my end. So
We're
I'm not
not
sure what's going
seeing
on.
any of that on my screen here.
We'll soon find out when the leaders come up to safety car.
I'm not too sure what's going on here. I think B may need to overtake the safety car. I'm not entirely sure. It's extremely unfortunate that no,
Yeah,
he can't. Yeah, he can try, but he can't. It's a yellow light on our screen here. Well,
They should be punched up by now, shouldn't they?
Codemasters, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. That is quite frustrating. Well, we're going to see what happens here. We don't have any clue what's going on. As far as we can tell on the broadcast screen, nobody's been disqualified. Kai Bacchini still in lead of this race. Nigel in second. Maxim in third, with Liam in fourth at the moment. It is extremely unfortunate that we have had this very frustrating end to our Tier 2 Suzuka race. This is already reminding me of Italy, Henry.
Oh, don't. You hate to see it.
You really do. You can see these time. Look at the time intervals.
Yeah. Something is definitely going on.
Well, for those of you tuning in, thankfully the next time we see an MRL race after today, I mean, we have our Tier 1 race coming up here in Suzuka in just under 1 hour's time. But of course, the next time we see an MRL season, it will be on an entirely new game. And let us all pray that the code masters have fortunately figured out their coding.
Is Kai back in his seat now?
I do believe he is. As Max Inkster getting a little antsy there in
Safety car
14th
in the
position.
slap.
B is your effective safety car leader, and it looks like he has had an issue with excuse me. Oh yeah, so there's been a few cars unfortunately getting tight. Ooh, B is being quite difficult on the restart here. It looks like Kai Bacchini and Nigel are still going to be racing here, Henry, and it looks like they're fighting in all of this traffic.
I don't know what's going on. There's
There's a
juice
big
box
spin.
gone.
Juice box has gone off. Yellow flag flying up there through Sector 1.
I wonder what Cohees are going to do when they cross the line.
That's going to be extremely interesting. Kai missing a front right end plate there, and Nigel's going to be hunting him down here. Let's check in with our championship leader. That's Jay in 9th position right now. Catching up with Gadwin, who's on 5-lap-old softs, 2 laps older than Jay's tires, and Robbo ahead of him in the Alpha. Maxim trying to maneuver through Nigel here. This is chaos. Oh, Maxim flying off onto the grass there. That's Liam up the inside, excuse me, of Maxim heading into 130R. Wheel to wheel into the final chicane. Liam has slid.
Going to the wall.
Liam has slid off here. He has had a major off, as the rest of the grid is just not going to be able to catch these guys, I do not believe. Liam in 4th. Jay up into 8th position as Robbo's had an off on those 13-lap-old mediums, or some kind of issue. Jay continuing to hunt down Gadwin. It is the penultimate lap of this race, and I do not know if Jay is going to have the ability to go through for another lap. Hanen getting out ahead of Robbo now.
I'm really confused right now.
Well, it looks as though Liam all the way up through Kai Bacchini have essentially lapped B, based on what I am seeing at the moment. It is extremely confusing.
DRS is enabled for the last lap.
Now, I cannot guarantee the outcome of this race will be that of the one clocked by the checkered flag here. But of course, our stewards are going to have a very, very thorough look at what happens here and what happened as a result of that safety car. We're going to be looking at all of the positions. Of course, we have access to these things. So, what I will say is this. Make sure you tune into our Twitter. The link is down below, and we will provide updates as we have them. Of course, if you are a member of the Discord, you'll see those updates before anybody. Maxim getting a beautiful move done on Nigel. Safety car error or not, that was something else to be seen from the Alfa Romeo there.
Nigel had it go down with 130R though. And the spoon.
Well, I don't think he's going to wait for 130R. He's on the inside in a spoon. He lifts a little bit there, thinking better of it. There is no DRS up through that section of circuit, and Maxim looks like he has gotten a way better lap through here on spoon.
Wow. Good job to Maxime.
Up the inside into the final chicane. Maxim fighting for his 3rd position in the points here. But I don't think it's going to be enough coming home in 2nd. But he jumps Kai Bacchini as a result of penalties. Of course, the stewards going to have to bring this race into a full review. And what a very unique finish to this race, Henry. I don't know whether to be excited, confused, disappointed, frustrated. I don't know what emotions I'm feeling right now, but I will say this. There was some absolutely fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing in this one. And even if it isn't the final result, and, you know, perhaps there's a restart or some kind of different outcome planned, of course, we all have to convene and figure these things out. I will make sure that some of the overtakes in this race are seen, of course, on the YouTube channel. Few drivers still yet to finish here. Jay being one of them. We're going to see where he finishes. Jay, your championship leader when this race began, and quite possibly your championship leader, or your championship runner-up, excuse me, when this race finishes. Finally coming home to cross the line. Where is he going to finish? Are penalties going to play a role? They do. I believe he jumped into 6th position here. He has. So that's going to be 8 points for Jay, which brings him to 117 points. And Liam finished in 2nd, which will put him ahead. But of course, like I said, nothing has been confirmed, as this entire race is going to be brought into review now. Maxim, though, taking the checkered flag in the Alfa Romeo from 13th on the grid. He began this race on the medium compound tires. You saw Liam there as well. It's a Canadian 1-2 for the moment. 3rd position is where he began this one, and he finishes 2nd. Kai Bacchini, who was on an absolute superb drive, leading this race for the entire campaign pretty well until that safety car inevitably came out as a result of his disconnect or collision of a sort. In 3rd position, Nigel in 4th with B, our reserve driver for McLaren, in 5th, just ahead of his teammate Jay, who was, until this moment, the championship leader. But of course, once again, nothing is final. But what a race it was. A lot of overtaking, a lot of drama, of course. There had to be, given the last race of the season for our Tier 2 drivers, Henry.
That was insane.
Crazy stuff.
No thanks to Codemasters.
No thanks to Codemasters is right. But of course, if you're new to the stream, make sure you smash that follow button, or lightly hit it, or just click it, whatever you prefer. We are going to be live in just about 40 minutes time for the Tier 1 race, taking to the Suzuka circuit as well. And there is a fight to be had in the standings there also, and it is going to be quite intense for the constructors in that one. So we hope you join us for that. Henry will be driving for Williams, of course. And as always, my name is Strifium. Henry, any last words for our viewers before we go offline for a short period?
Just want to say thanks for the support over the season in Tier 2. Greatly appreciated from everyone watching from anywhere and around the world. And yeah, that was not good from Codemasters, but we'll have to deal with it in some sort of way.
Of course, of course. All right, everybody, have a great evening. If you're not going to be around with us in just a short while for Tier 1, we will see you next time. Of course, we're going to have a short little break between Seasons 2 and Season 3. This is the finale, of course, but we are planning to make a fantastic return in F1 2020 with Season 3 action. We will have both tiers for you then, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys for the first race, which I am not able to confirm at this time, but I can say it will more than likely be the Australian Grand Prix, as we will follow along with the original calendar intended for the 2020 season. But thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, or until later, thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button to let us know, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more great racing content. We are live on Twitch every week on twitch.tv Misfits Racing League. Hit us up in the description below for our Discord and Twitter links as well. Always looking to get connected on those, and if you're interested in joining the MRL, Discord is the place to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next video.